Hello again, gamers! Today on the menu we have Paladin. The problem is I have to do it real fast because I have a raid incoming in Mapple's story. What the fuck is Mapple's story, you might ask? Well, don't get yourself concerned. We're quitting that. And we go right back to Ascension Well. And here we have level 1 Paladin, Undead Paladin, mind you. Look at this set. This is pure lore. This is lore gaming. When I've seen it in the character creation screen, I see this red Scarlet Crusade kind of male armor. I was like, holy shit, that's literally me. Why is this Cloth? Cloth, really? What the hell? Anyways. Pretty nice for transmog role-playing stuff. So, as we can see, level 1, Crusader Strike, Seal of Righteousness, Holy Light. You should not have any problems leveling at this as this bad boy. Those abilities you should be owning. Before we begin, important announcements. Some big things dropped today. I will copy paste this and drop it in the description box below. Large adjustments to Paladin Holy Power, especially Holy Healers. You can read this, except this is a Shaman line, but there's a bunch of stuff. For example, a new dawn can now also trigger from Word of Glory, additional effects for Beacon of Light, blah blah blah. One Holy Power. There's a bunch of stuff that changed just today. I would highly encourage you to check it out. For example, this line, Light of Dawn, now requires 3 Holy Power to cast, but no longer has a cooldown. It's really good. You can generate Holy Power, instantly spend it. No waiting, no goofy loop, right? Gameplay loop. Now, what do we want to see? We want to go to Mystic Enchants page. Once again, as in previous videos, quick explanation. You have 6 slots for rare enchants. You have 3 slots for epic enchants. You have 1 slot for legendary and 1 slot for artifact. As you maybe have seen in the Druid video, Druid had 4 different artifact abilities. Paladin at the moment has only 3. And I don't think they are as good as Druid ones, but that's not to say those are not powerful abilities. So let's check them out. I have my filters ready. Blinding Light, this is a Paladin classic. 40-second cooldown, instantly blinding, disorienting people for 6 seconds in AoE. This is freaking nuts. It's nuts for PvP, it's nuts for PvE. It makes you able to do some absolutely insane CC combos. For example, you blind somebody, you can instantly follow with Hodge. They have to trinket it, otherwise they get hodged, and so on. So keep that in mind. Second option is Light's Hammer. I believe this was originally a protection Paladin ability. Light's Hammer is you hurl a light infused hammer into the ground where it will blast a 10-yard area with arcing light for 10 seconds, and that deals holy damage to enemies and reduces movement speed by 50%. It also heals allies. This ability was extremely powerful. Last time I've checked it out. It deals a lot of damage for artifact ability, which is unusual. Usually the artifact abilities are just utility, but this one actually heals and deals damage, so keep that in mind. Divine Steed. This is your sprint. This is your Paladin wheelchair sprint ability. If I'm not mistaken, Paladins are one of the most immobile classes in World of Warcraft. but this kinda helps you out. You have the 3 seconds of good sprint, works indoors and in combat, so definitely good for those reds in PvP and stuff like that. Now, let's start with the legendary enchants. Those are, first off, we have Protection, Holy and Retribution Mastery. The Mastery ones always make you deal your usual stuff a little bit better. It's not supposed to be like a very complex effect. It is just a small bonus to make everything you do a little bit better. So, Protection Mastery, all threat generated by 12%, large boost to threat, and reduces damage taken in Righteous Fury by 3%. Pretty good bonus. Holy Mastery, crit chance increased by 4%, mana cost reduction by 4%, so makes you more, basically makes you more effective at all times. Retribution Mastery, more crit for all attacks by 4%, more damage done by holy damage 4%. Simple stuff, right? Okay, now that we have the boring stuff out of the way, let's go to the first real one. Execution Sentence, 45-second cooldown. A hammer slowly falls from the sky, causing holy damage over 10 seconds. This culminates in a final burst of damage, dealing damage to enemies within 5 yards. Dispelling the effect triggers the final burst. So, and on top of that, it makes your judgments half cooldown if you use it on this target. So this is like a massive burst of damage at the end. The downside is it takes 10 seconds for this to appear. So let's say you open a pack of enemies, you throw it on, and after 10 seconds you will have massive burst of damage. Problem with it is within 10 seconds usually most of the pack dies. So it's like, it's okay. It has its uses. Definitely better in like raid combat than small dungeons. Hammerstorm teaches you Hammerstorm. 25-second cooldown. Holy hammers surround you for 5 seconds, increasing armor, dealing holy damage, and reducing their attack speed by 20%. Now, very good for tanks, of course. It's a short cooldown, like a defensive thing. It does say that it reduces their attack speed by 20%, but I'm not sure if it stacks with Judgment of the Just. Every tank spec in World of Warcraft has a passive effect, like a debuff, that reduces enemy attack speed by 20%-ish, 16 to 20. And I'm not sure if it stacks with this. I hope it does. If it does, then it's extremely good. If it doesn't, it's something, right? Your guess. Light of the Guardian absorbs 14 damage, deals 16 high threat holy damage to enemies within 8 yards of the Paladin. Reduces damage taken, increases healing received by 30% for 6 seconds. So this is like your short cooldown defensive and also high threat, snap threat ability. Is it something I would specifically use? Maybe, maybe not. I would imagine it's really good if you're like playing solo or you rely on your own heals quite a lot. For example, you pop this one and instantly heal yourself with the instant cast healing, and you can top yourself well with single spell, right? That could be nice. Blessing of the Divines. Your Paladin heals have 33% to trigger random blessing. This can only occur once every 10 seconds. So, first one. Increases healing taken by 5%, reduces damage taken by 5%. Okay. Is this blessing like a party group wide? I'm not sure. I haven't seen this being used too much, or I didn't notice. Heals 3 party or raid members within 30 yards of you for 5. And heals 3 party or raid members within every 3 seconds for 2. That's 15 seconds. Interesting. I would have to test this in game. I never played with it, so I don't know exactly how it works. One with the light. Increases your holy damage by 10%, reduces physical damage dealt by 10%. Your Crusader Strike, Divine Storm, and Hammer of the Righteous deal extra holy damage, scaling with your spell power. Now this is cool. I think originally this was a legendary enchant on Classless Ascension. It enables your attacks to scale with spell power. So imagine if you're playing like a Holy Paladin and you want to deal some extra damage, you can do that. It also makes your consecration 10% better because it's holy. Definitely interesting. Also for red, having ability of scaling additionally with the spell power gear on the red, maybe good, maybe not. We shall see. Gift of Light. Your Light's Grace is automatically renewed every 15 seconds. When renewed, you gain a stack of Gift of Light, empowering your Divine Favor to not trigger a cooldown. Cannot use Divine Favor again until you gain the next Gift of Light. I'm not sure exactly what's Light's Grace. Okay, gives your Holy Light a 33% chance to reduce cast time on the next Holy Light spell by. Okay, so you get that proc automatically with it. And then you can throw very fast Holy Lights. And on top of that, you can use Divine Favors. Ah, so you can throw very fast critical Holy Lights every 15 seconds. Interesting. Twist of Fate. Using Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Command, Seal of Vengeance, or Seal of Corruption while different one of seals is active, grants you previously active seal for 8 seconds. These seals have their global cooldown reduced, no longer cost any mana but have 10 seconds cooldown. So this is the seal twisting thing I've heard so much about. It rewards you heavily for changing your seals over and over again. Very cool. Holy Templar. Crusader Strike, Divine Storm, Holy Shock grants you holy power. You can consume 3 holy power to use Templar's Verdict or Word of Glory. Templar's Verdict is a heavy hitting weapon damage strike, and Word of Glory heals a target for 13 and another 10 over 6 seconds. So, if you're perhaps familiar with BFA Holy Paladin, Holy Paladin in BFA revolved around being at melee range and throwing out those Crusader Strikes and Holy Shocks to generate holy power and spending them on other stuff. This is very cool, honestly. I would gladly play this myself. Also, it's coming right here. I'll discuss it in a second, but the way Blizzard designed Holy Paladin later on, they really angled into the melee damage dealer, like Holy Shock throwing machine, basically. It just goes in and slams everything, the really high APM gameplay, A lot of instant casts, short range. But let's see how it plays on Bronzebeard. Crimson Defense. Blocking attacks grants you Crimson Defender. Consume 3 stacks to empower your next ability. Stacks up to 6 times and lasts for 15 seconds, so you can consume half of the stacks. Shield of Righteousness deals additional holy damage to 5 nearby enemies, so more snap AoE threat. And Avenger Shield increases your block value by 15% and threat by 10% for 10 seconds. Pretty good. You don't have to think too much about it. You just use your stuff, and it's a good bonus. You're only gonna need to monitor your stacks if you're like against a raid boss or something, but for general dungeon tanking, this should be a good bonus. Glimmer of Light. Flash of Light leaves a glimmer of light on any friendly target healed, lasting for 15 seconds. And Glimmer of Light is a buff on allies. That makes you heal them whenever you Holy Shock. Whenever you defensively Holy Shock. It's a little bit different how Glimmer worked in BFA. And I'm not sure how much support does Glimmer have. I'm not sure how good that's gonna be. It's a little bit different to how it worked in BFA. But it might be interesting. Guardian of Ancient Kings. 1 minute cooldown. Transform into Guardian of Ancient Kings, resetting the cooldown of Hammer of Righteous and Divine Storm. While active, their cooldowns are reduced by 50%. Increases your damage done, resists damage taken, lasts 10 seconds. So it's really powerful. Or pretty powerful. I wouldn't say it's really powerful. It's like wings on short cooldown. Crusader of Light. After 12 auto attacks or melee abilities, your next auto attack hits twice. Reduces cooldown of Avenging Graph by 10 seconds. While Avenging Graph is active, you gain 2 stacks. Well, more uptime on wings is always good. So, decent bonus. Consecrated Weapon. Your consecration empowers your weapon for 10 seconds, increasing your melee crit chance by 6%, giving attacks a chance to restore 5% base mana. Well, mana restoration is definitely good if you're playing like melee holy paladin healer. More crit, also nice. And you're gonna consecrate anyway. The problem, well, consecrate has massive mana cost, so having mana restoration definitely helps. Branding Zeal increases the damage of your Seal of Righteousness by 20%. Using a Judgment empowers Exorcism, Holy Shock and Holy Wrath, allowing them to trigger your Seal of Righteousness for 10 seconds. Wow. So basically you use your Judgment, and then all those listed spells trigger a seal again. Might be quite powerful. Oh, Seal of Righteousness is the holy damage on hit, right? 8 holy damage to an enemy when you unleash. Okay. Consecrated Zeal. Dealing damage with Consecration grants you stack of Consecrated Zeal. Increases holy damage done by 2%. Reduces fist damage taken by 1. Stacks up to 3 times, lasts 3 seconds. Pretty basic bonus. Whenever you plop down Consecration, you get more damage with Holy. Reduces damage taken. Solid bonus for Protection Paladin. Fuse strikes. Your Crusader Strike and Avenger Shield deal 10% of its damage to nearby enemies as holy damage and restores 5% base mana. This effect generates high threat. That's pretty nice, because Avenger Shield hits pretty hard already for protection. And let's say you deal 5,000 damage. Need to visualize this a little bit better. Sorry if I nuked you with a white screen. Let's say you have 3 targets here, 3 baddies that are stacked close to each other, and you're here as a paladin. You throw the shield, holy shield, like this, like this, like this. You will deal 5,000 on each, right? And then each target hit, in my understanding, each target hit will also deal 10% as holy. So if they're all clumped up together, right? 5% of 5,000, sorry, 10% of 5,000 is 500. So that's 500 dealt here. Or this target hits this and this for 500. That's 1,000, and so forth. So you deal additional 3,000 damage in AoE. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. That's at least how I understand it. Crusader Strike doesn't hit that hard, but since it says this effect generates high threat, this kinda helps in Protection Paladin with snap aggro, because when you throw your shield, your Avenger Shield, it only hits limited targets, like 4 or 5, whatever it is. Pretty good enchant if you're into having a lot of threat in AoE. Spark of Hope. Holy Light and Flashlight. Flash of Light has additional 12% critical strike chance when healing ally below 50% health. This is your oh shit healing. Somebody is low, way higher chance to crit them. Using a judgment increases crit strike chance and reduces mana cost of next Holy Light by 20%. Well, this is more of your melee Holy Paladin, right? Walk up to a boss, use judgment, and your next Holy Light 20% more crit and reduce mana cost. Crusader Judgment. Your Crusader Strike deals 20% additional damage on targets affected by Judgment effect. Pretty simple. You'll always have some sort of judgment on the target. Dealing damage with Hand of Reckoning increases movement speed by 50% for 3 seconds. Nice. While active, dealing damage with Judgment effect extends the duration by 2 seconds. Hand of Reckoning is the taunt, no? Yeah, it's the taunt. So whenever, let's say your ally pulls the threat off of you and the monster runs towards him, you taunt, you get a movement speed buff for 3 seconds, which helps mobility a lot. Interesting effect. Definitely something paladins would like. Divine Plea only reduces your healing done with Holy Light, Flash of Light, and Holy Shock by 20%, 25%. Additionally, increases your chance to critically heal with those spells by 10%. Now, this is interesting because Divine Plea, it's right here. Normally, it kills your throughput, but with this enchant, the penalty is way less. It's It's only 25%, so you can keep casting while you're regenerating mana. Not only that, it also makes them crit more often. So it might even out to be almost no penalty. So if you're interested in having a lot of mana, this is definitely one of the things. Synergistic Light. Casting Flash of Light increases the critical strike chance of your next Holy Light by 10%. Reduces its mana cost by 10%. This can stack twice. And casting Holy Light reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock by 1 second. So yeah, this is one of those enchant that makes you combo those spells together, so you can rotate them over and over again. Should be decent for Glimmer of Light playstyle, I think. Yes, Flash of Light is leaving Glimmer of Light on the targets. Yeah, so definitely, like, imagine if you have 5 party members. You heal party member 1 with Flash of Light, heal party member 2 with Flash of Light. That each of those casts makes your Holy Light cheaper. And when you Holy Light, your Holy Shocks get reduced by 1 second. Interesting. I'm not sure if it's good enough to make Glimmer good, but we shall see. Light of Dawn. This spell is very fun. Requires level 30. And it requires Holy Templar Legendary. Cannot use it without this. I would highly recommend checking this out because it could be very fun playstyle. Consumes 3 Holy Power, releasing a cone of Holy Energy, healing up to 500 allies in a frontal cone for 188. So the way it works, you walk up to an enemy, you can Crusader Strike, which you have at level 1. You can Holy Shock, offensively, or defensively. Holy Shocking in your allies also gives you Holy Power. And then, if you have 3 Holy Power, you can throw like a beam of light in front of you that heals up to 5 allies for heavy damage. Oh, heavy healing. I bet it's a very fun playstyle. Swift Favor. Your Divine Favor also increases the effectiveness of the next Flash of Light, Holy Light or Holy Shock by 30%. Healing with Flash of Light, Holy Light and Holy Shock reduces the cooldown of Divine Favor by 2 seconds. I don't remember what was Divine Favor. Was it the cooldown that makes you uninterruptible? Oh, it gives you 100% crit chance. Okay. So not only your healing is gonna be 100% crit when you press it, you're gonna be 30% bigger. And using those heals reduces the cooldown of that big button. Well, it's definitely a good for oh shit moments. You're gonna top people off instantly. Swift Execution. Using Crusader Strike reduces the cooldown of execution sentence by 2 seconds. Increases the damage of Crusader Strike on targets below 35% health by 20%. Well, gives you execute Crusader Strike, and on top of that you can use this. Well, you have to kind of use it. Every Crusader Strike is 2 seconds. Crusader Strike is pretty spammable, so you will have this very often. Interesting. Execution Verdict. Using Hammer of Wrath grants you charge of Holy Power. Nice. Using Templar's Verdict. while the target is below 35% also grants you charge of holy power. In addition, Templar Verdict has 25% increased chance to critically strike on targets below 35% health. Okay. So there you have it. Templar's Verdict is the heavy hitting, powerful strike. It's 150% weapon damage. So 3 times as hard as Crusader Strike. Your Vengeance talent can stack up additional time. If I'm not mistaken, that's another 3% of damage. It's this one. 1% bonus. Oh no, restart. 1% bonus to Fizz and Holy for 30 seconds, so it can go from 3 to 4. 1%. That doesn't sound too strong. Oh, I get it, because this is a rank 1. At rank 3 is 3% to Fizz and Holy, so it would go from 9 to 12. Okay. A New Dawn, healing an ally with Light of Dawn or direct part of Glory makes your next flash of light Holy Shock or Holy Light or Holy Shock and then heal 20% more. In addition, healing the target of your Beacon of Light to full health generates 1 holy power. Now this is very good. That makes your holy power generation really sick. Imagine if you have Beacon of Light on your tank, right? You have Beacon of Light on your tank. He gets some chip damage. He's missing like 5% of HP, right? And you just clip him with any shitty healing, or you heal your ally, and Beacon of Light heals the tank. Now the tank is full, and you get holy power for it. Pretty cool. Yeah, the Holy Paladin looks more and more interesting with every single second. Every single enchant I see. Baleful Hammer. Increases armor by 10% while Holy Shield is active. Using Hammer of Righteous increases the charges of your Holy Shield by 4%. 4, actually. Hammer of Righteous was the Prot ability, right? At the end, Hammer. Yes, it's the level 60 ability. Well, that's pretty good, because Holy Shield has limited charges, it's like 8. And you don't really want it to fade off, but if you use Hammer, which are you gonna spam anyway, charges are gonna go up. Sword of Vengeance. When using a judgment on target with 5 stacks of your Seal of Vengeance or Seal of Corruption, you deal 6 additional holy damage to the targets and other enemies within 3 yards. Well, that's more cleave damage with seals. Sounds okay. Not sure how good that scales. I'm gonna screenshot this because I cannot CBA editing the video. Oh no, I cannot screenshot. I have to mouse over. Oh, fuck. I will have to edit the video anyway. Increase the damage of Shield of Righteousness. Using Shield of Righteousness causes your next Hand of Reckoning to heal you for 5% of missing health, stacking up to 5 times. Interesting. So you can keep spamming Shield of Righteousness, right? And for emergency, you can slam Hand of Reckoning, and that heals you up. Keep in mind, this is like this works exactly like Death Strike. Heals you from missing health. Very cool. 5 times 5, 25% missing health. It's almost as good as Death Striking. The only problem is it's tied to a taunt, which you kinda don't want to spam taunts like willy-nilly. It can break your combat if you miss taunt. Armor of Wrath. Casting Hammer of Wrath or Holy Wrath reduces all damage taken by 5% for 6 seconds. Pretty simple. Wrathful Exorcism. Using Exorcisms allows your next Hammer of Wrath to be used regardless of target's health. Pretty nice. Very good for red, actually. Divine Sacrifice. This is a great raid cooldown. Especially if you have a knowledgeable Paladin that knows how to abuse bubble. But this is not something you just press whenever, because you can straight up kill yourself with it. And we have server restart. So I will finish this video in a second. And we are back after another disconnect. They're heavily updating stuff right now, that's why we are disconnecting. But there it is, Divine Order. Divine Illumination increases your critical strike chance with all spells by 20% for its duration. In addition, the mana gain from your Illumination talent is increased by additional 10%. So this is your mana recovery tool for Holy. Shield of Wrath. Cooldown of your Avenger Shield is reduced by 20%, but no longer slows any target's hit. This is pretty good, honestly, because generally speaking, you don't really care about slowing monsters in dungeons. It even is a little bit annoying when you slow them and you want them to come fast to you. So this basically has no downsides for a tank. Your Avenger Shield hits up to 3 additional targets. For each target hit, you gain 10% increased movement speed. Well, do you remember the one enchant we spoke about before? The one that deals small amounts of cleave damage from Avenger Shield? This is an insane combo. 3 more targets. How much is it by default? Avenger. 3 total targets plus 3, that's 6. So there's gonna be a lot of bonus damage. And a lot of threat as well. Sacred Light. Your Sacred Shield now applies an empowered absorb shield when applied, but has a 30 seconds cooldown. In addition, the target of your Sacred Shield takes 8% increased healing from you. Ah, what does that do? I'm not even sure. Sacred Shield. Okay, so instead of small damage absorption, you get a large absorb shield, but you have a cooldown on it. Interesting. Divine Resurgence. Auto attacks have 12% chance to reset the cooldown of Divine Storm. I don't think I need to explain why this is good. More Divine Storms, more good, right? Blessed Hammer. Your Hammer of Righteousness. Righteous deals 10% increased damage. Increases all damage done on enemies hit by 3% for 15 seconds, stack up to 3 times. That's pretty good, because by default I believe Hammer of Righteous deals damage to like 3 targets. Yeah, current target an additional 2. So if you have multiple enemies, it will basically always increase the holy damage done by 9%, right? I think it's even double dipping, because Hammer of Righteous itself deals holy. So it's 10% more from Hammer, and on top of that you're debuffing enemies, so they take more holy damage from you by 9%. So in general it's gonna make your Hammer of Righteous deal around 20% more damage. Sacred Unity. Casting Holy Light on your target of your Beacon of Light extends the duration of Beacon of Light by 10 seconds. and forms a bond that transfers 5% of damage they take to you for 5 seconds. Oh, that is interesting, definitely. Huh. Wait, so if I Holy Light the tank, right? And I have Beacon of Light on him, the duration is gonna be extended by a bit, and then 5% of the damage is gonna go to me, which is not a big problem. 5% is like free to heal. Very cool, interesting. It's like a tiny external, basically. Now we have the blue glyphs. Those are rare. They are all available at your class trainer. You can buy them for Runes of Ascension in there. I'm just gonna quickly mouse over them because most of them are either glyphs that already existed in Wrath of the Lich King, or they are crossover talents which enable talents from another trees to be available. For example, Holy Paladin, level 60, could get one talent from Retribution tree, which is pretty nice. So, there we go. Glyph of Holy Light, Seal of Righteousness, Hammer of Justice, Crusader Strike, Consecration, Divine Play, Seal of Command, Glyph of Exorcism, Flash of Light, Turn Evil, Glyph of Vengeance, Seal of Light, Seal of Wisdom, Glyph of Judgment, Glyph of Spiritual Attunement, Glyph of Cleansing, Glyph of Divinity, Glyph of Shield of Righteousness, Glyph of Holy Shock, Glyph of Salvation, Improved Blessed of Might. Now, as you can see here, those are the crossover talents. For example, you can be Holy Paladin, right? And you can still grab this talent. Normally, if you're on Bronzebeard, if you're level 60, you can. The last talent that you're gonna unlock is gonna be here, and then you cannot have sub trees spec'd into. But those crossover talents allow you to do that. So that's why it's important for you to know. We have been here. Deflection, Anticipation, Benediction, Conviction, Improved Devotion Aura, Toughness, Guardian's Favor, Spiritual Focus, Illumination, Lay on Hands, Healing Light, Improved Blessing of Wisdom, Improved Consecration Aura, Divine Intellect, Divine Strength, Seals of the Pure, Heart of the Crusader, Improved Righteous Fury, Improved Hammer of Justice, Unyielding Fate, Improved Judgment, Eye for an Eye, Vindication, Pursuit of Justice, Crusade, Sanctity of Battle, Stoicism, Divine Guardian, Blessed Hands, Divinity, Seal of Command, Aura Mastery. This one is powerful. Glyph of Avenging Wrath, Glyph of Avenger Shield, Glyph of Holy Wrath, Glyph of Hammer of Wrath, Glyph of Beacon of Light, Glyph of Hammer of the Righteous, and Glyph of Divine Storm. That is it for Paladin. Retribution Paladins looks mostly almost the same as regular Wrath of the Lich King stuff, except the seal twisting stuff here. Holy Paladin seen the most changes in my opinion, and Protection Paladin basically does everything it did before better. That's my opinion on it. Protection Paladin looks very powerful for damage output. It doesn't have that much mitigation, I think, but the tools to deal damage seem pretty insane. That's my take on it. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I have a Maple Horntail raid soon, so I'll be doing that. I'll maybe stream it on YouTube if you're interested. It is not World of Warcraft though, so probably not. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful evening. We're patiently awaiting the release of Bronzebeard. Tomorrow I might do 1 or 2 more classes. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish all 9, so because it honestly takes me quite a lot of time. Like a single video is an hour of me talking. So yeah, enjoy and see you Friday.